Training lower body and handstands today. I'm trying to do like a minimalist approach, and I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but basically supersetting pistol squats and Nordic variations. With the pistol squats, I'm doing it on a slant board. It just feels a little better on my knees. And I'm going to be just like micro loading these over time. So I've got like a 1¼ pound weight in the working side hand, and I'm going for 2 sets of 5 and then 1 set of close to failure. I think you get more out of like traditional weightlifting versus just super high rep body weight stuff. So we'll see if this has any positive outcomes. But yeah, these are the Nordics. I've got one of the Nord sticks, and I've got kind of a funky setup underneath the Airstream. This first set, I've got a pretty good bend in the hips, which I'm not really going for, but I'm more just trying to figure out how to make the position work. I can't fully extend because there is a railroad tie right in front of me, so it's basically like top of the forehead comes down to that, but I'll figure out a better setup going forward. Here's the second set of pistols. I'm using that pull-up bar just for support, so I'm not really concerned about like the balance element of these. I can do them freestanding, but since I want to load these up as much as I can over time, I'm more focused on just like developing leg strength, maybe building a little bit of size. So I'm using the post as a balance, trying not to use it to pull myself up, but on that max set, you know, I do a little bit. Here's the second set of Nordics, figuring out my foot position. I think part of the challenge with the Nord stick is it's a little unstable, and I prefer to have my ankles, or I guess my shin, parallel to the ground, not at that downward angle. So I'm using a little assistance both on the way down and the way up, still have that hip bend, which I'll work on correcting over time. I do notice that if I'm on like an actual Nordic bench, I can stay a lot flatter and maintain a lot of strength in the negative. I think mainly because I'm just locked in a little bit better. Plus my kneecaps were feeling kind of funky on that pad, like they almost wanted to slip out. So I may need to get a better piece of foam with some cutouts for the kneecaps themselves. This is the last set of pistols. I think I get like 9 on each leg here. Just trying to push it, but still make sure the knees feel reasonably good. I do like that slant board. I feel like it puts it more in the quad, and you can really push through the heel. So we'll see how these pan out over time. Last set of Nordics, kind of figuring out the position a little bit more on this set. You can see my nose is basically touching that railroad tie, so that limits the range of motion, but it's not like I can do a full Nordic at this point anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. I'll probably have to get creative and come up with a different setup, or at least one that gives me a little more space and maybe puts my knees in a more comfortable position. But for now, these will do. paired the lower body with some handstand work. I'm just doing kick-ups to kind of get warmed up. Aiming for anywhere from 10 to 20 kick-ups per side. But also if one of the kick-ups feels particularly good and I get a solid hold out of it, I will just hold the static position and ride it out for as long as I can. I generally try and stop before like I totally have to bail on the position, but that doesn't always work out. I haven't done handstands in a while, so it's a little sloppy. Definitely don't have a straight line, but these tend to come back pretty quickly. So this is one of those kick-ups that felt pretty good on the way up. So I just held it probably 15-ish seconds, plus or minus. Yeah, I think this first one was 10. So not terrible. Glad I can still lock one in here and there. So I'm just counting these kind of together. So I originally have this programmed for like a bunch of kick-ups and then some static holds, but I'll just combine them. So if I'm going for like 10 kick-ups total per leg, and I get anywhere from like 3 to 10 nice holds, then I'll just kind of call it good on that portion of the handstand work. And this is a really basic program right now. Mainly just getting used to the position again, seeing what I can hold, and then taking notes for areas to improve going forward, of which there are plenty. I do notice a difference kicking up off of my right leg versus my left. My right leg, for whatever reason, it's my dominant leg and it just feels more stable. The left leg, when I kick up, it tends to get a little more unsteady. I have to do a lot more corrections, and I also miss quite a bit more pushing off that left leg to get into the handstand position. So probably need to prioritize the left leg because I want to be able to kick up on both with relative ease and not have a huge difference from one leg to the other. So to finish off the training, I'm just doing some handstand push-ups off the wall and some elevation. I think that's 6 to 8 inches, those cinder blocks. I'm not training handstand push-ups specifically right now. I can do freestanding singles off of elevation, off of those cinder blocks, but it's not a priority right now. So this is more just maintaining strength throughout the movement, and I'm more focused on like the consistency in the handstand itself, because without balance, handstand push-ups are a bit of a challenge. So just 3 sets of 3 for these, and that wraps up training for today.